Mm-hmm.
What's up, motherfuckers? Say hi, fucking Rob.
What up? What up? What up? What up? How are y'all today?
Oh, yeah, that sounds like a little.
We still. I want to do that episode one of these days.
We're gonna do it. We haven't. We teased it. We haven't done it yet, but we're gonna set that motherfucker up. You guys are gonna have the most produced show that you're ever gonna fucking hear, and you're gonna hate it. You're gonna fucking hate it. It's coming. Could be next week. Who knows? But since it's not, let's talk about Governor Andrew Cuomo. Now, for a time during the pandemic, Cuomo was doing his daily updates and all of that bullshit. And if you watch them like I did, you were like, whoa, this guy is fucking on point. This guy knows what he's doing. Fucking, I wish we got more of this leadership, right? To the point where people were talking about him running for the next president. Like he was going to be the next guy that was trying to get on the ticket, right? Not so fast, my friends, because apparently, if you're not from New York and you don't know about this guy, he's had a couple of sketchy things in his past with his staff and whatever. But we're not even going to touch on those. Let's just touch on the nursing home stuff. So this fucking guy, now mind you, it was early in the pandemic. I will give him that. We didn't know as much as we know now. This fucking guy sent COVID patients back to the nursing homes. He sent them back. And people died. He basically started super spreader events in nursing homes in New York and pressured or basically out and out told his people to report things a different way for nursing home deaths to cover it up afterwards. Like this fucking guy, instead of isolating those people and keeping them out of the nursing homes, he sent them back to spread it to everyone else. And if you wonder why New York's death rate is so high, it's not just because they have so many people living there. It's because of shit like this. This fucking guy, and nobody, like, there's been a little bit of reporting on it, but nowhere near the amount of reporting on it that there should be. This guy, like, basically might have killed your grandmother if you live in New York. I mean, am I wrong? Have you seen some of these
No.
stories?
And this goes to show anyone that listens to like the podcast or watches the YouTube channel, like we, we don't just pick on Republicans on this channel. Like stupid is as stupid does, man.
Listen, if Biden fucking grabs a little kid and starts sniffing her hair, I'm going to talk about it. Like, we're going to talk about whatever the fuck happens right down the middle. But it's amazing how Cuomo, he's finally starting to get some negative shit about this to the point where they're talking about impeaching him as a governor because of his poor choices. Like when during those pandemic briefings, he looked like he was on point. He looked like, everything looked good. And I was a sucker. I fell for it. I'm like, damn, this guy knows what the fuck he's doing. Because but look at what I had to compare him to with this fucking idiot that was running things nationally. So I had a guy that was actually following the science supposedly, and who's giving you all the information in a poignant, just systematic way, and saying we need to do this, blah blah blah. Like he actually looked like he had a plan versus orange asshole who had zero plan. But his plan in the beginning was to off people, like just fuck them, send the olds back, let them deal with it. Like, I mean, and I'm trying to, like, I don't think he really meant to do that, but it was a huge mistake, huge, and it wasn't really brought forth the way it is. And then they tried to cover it up, and they tried to say that those nursing home deaths weren't like they tried to push those into hospital deaths or whatever, when they're actually nursing home deaths, because he allowed them to put the COVID people and put the COVID, and then he tried to like dance around it and say, oh well, no, that's not what happened. The patients didn't bring COVID into the nursing homes. The people brought, like the workers and stuff, brought COVID back into the nursing homes, with which I'm sure happened, but so did sending COVID bearing people back into the nursing homes. Yeah, that probably contributed to it as much, if not more.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure initially COVID was introduced to the nursing home via a staff member or a visitor, but once the nursing home went on lockdown or whatever, and they had like COVID patients, and then they sent them away and then brought them back, those who weren't infected now had the opportunity to be infected.
Well, it's just like if this happened, and if we're being fair and we're being honest, like you said, if a Republican governor did the same thing, if DeSantis, from this asshole DeSantis, who is getting praised and is getting like to the point where they're talking about him running for president in 2024, this fucking moron governor, Republican governor of Florida, if he did it, they'd be all over him. So we got to be fair. Like, the media is a little too far left right now, the mainstream media. And they need to start reporting this shit correctly. And they need to start calling out guys like Cuomo, who obviously made a bunch of mistakes and obviously tried to fudge the numbers so that it didn't look as bad as it was. I mean, this is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll agree with that. Like the same way they'll crucify Cruz for taking off in Texas to
Well, whoa, hold on. Listen, he didn't kill any kids or anything like that. He didn't kill old people. But you're the governor.
Mainstream
senator. I'm sorry, he's a senator.
But mainstream
you're a senator
media
of Texas. You shouldn't be planning a fucking vacation while your constituents are fucking freezing and they don't have water. Like you I understand what you're saying, but that's a bad example.
No, because here's why I think it's a great example, because he got a lot of attention for that.
He should have.
But again, he got a lot of attention for that. Cuomo is not getting nearly the same amount of attention.
Totally. Agreed. 100% agreed. They made more of a big deal about Cruz just taking his family to fucking Cancun to get them warm and to avoid some of the bullshit in Texas, versus Cuomo,
by the way,
killing your nana.
but by the way, this dickbag left his fucking animal behind because
Well, that's just a loser.
it's a whole nother comment. Yeah.
What did he leave back? A dog or something?
Yeah, I think he left his dog behind and like to freeze, caught
What,
all
when,
kinds of fucking flack.
wait, nobody with like nobody checking on the dog? He just left the dog?
I'm sure. I'm sure it was being cared for.
Oh, okay.
Again, I think there's some mainstream spin on that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There was probably something set up. I don't think Ted Cruz is an asshole, but and Trump just put him in a locker. Which, by the way, I've been thinking a lot about this Trump phenomenon. And I think I finally figured it out. And maybe I'm stupid and it's ridiculous why it took me this long to figure it out. Um it's it's a bunch of layers. It's like a cake, you know. There's a bunch of layers that made the thing that I'm missing is the woman connection. That's what I don't get. Like there are ride or die Trump chicks, and I, I'm failing to find the connection with them. Okay, so the first layer of the cake, and this wasn't even on a rundown. This is just me going out the top of the fucking dome. The first layer is the rich people who want the tax breaks and all of that stuff, right? We can agree, like, hey, this guy's looking out for me. Fuck it. I'm gonna not give a fuck about all the other bullshit that he does as long as it makes me good, right? Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
Okay. The next layer is the tough guy crowd. That's why he's so popular with like the military and the cops and the firefighters and all of that because he acts like this hardo who's gonna like stand up and punch you in the face. Yet
Can't
he's
nobody
a,
tell me none. Yeah.
yeah. Yet if you stupid assholes would take a second to think about it, he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. His father, the real Trump, was the one who had all the money, who sent him to all these the best schools and all of this stuff and paid for him to basically be what he was, and who's probably never got into a real legit fight in his life. And if you punch him in his face, he'd probably fold like a little fucking like a wilted flower. And that's what baffles me. Just because you talk tough doesn't mean you are tough. And this motherfucker talked tough to the point where, like, I bet you if Joe Biden's old ass with his frail hands punched Trump in the face, Trump would fold like a fucking pussy. Because I bet you Trump's never been in a real fight in his fucking life. Or if he has, he's been knocked the fuck out. And they probably
It reminds me of
sued.
that fucking.
They probably sued whoever knocked them
That's
out.
that's what I was gonna say. It reminded me of that that Rocky movie with the promoter is like, touch me and I'll sue.
I mean so that's my second layer, like the hardo shit. So people can identify with that, like, oh, you don't fuck with the U.S., you don't fuck with me, and he to his credit, he put that message across beautifully, beautifully. Like, I'm a badass, I'm a tough guy. That's why we talked about him with the Superman thing, like after the COVID, like that's what he wanted to do because he knows how to portray this tough guy image.
Power. Yeah.
But is he really tough, you stupid fucking idiots who are brainwashed by this guy? Is he really tough? I bet you Biden, who's older than him by I don't know how many years, I forget, I bet you Biden would fucking put a lump in his face and Trump would fold like a bitch. And that's saying a lot because Biden can barely lift his fucking arms at this point. Like his Biden's punches are probably like you could see him coming from a mile away. It's like, seriously, Joe, you really trying to do that? But you guys act like Trump's this fucking badass, and he's a silver spoon bitch boy. He's pussy. I would fucking, as a 12-year-old, I would fold Trump in his prime. Jesus Christ, what's wrong with you people? Like, some of you guys are bad motherfuckers. You'll knock the piss out of me. You'll knock the piss out of my brother. You'll knock the piss out of most people. But you follow this fucking loser like if he's got these big, huge balls and he's so tough when he probably never got into a real fight in his fucking life. Or if he did, he was looking up at the stars afterwards. So that's layer two. That's layer two of the Trump cake. So we got the rich who don't give a fuck. Go ahead, do your thing. We have the badasses. I guess part of what got the women was the fear factor of, oh, the Mexicans and all these aliens are trying to invade America and all of that stuff. I guess that's a small part of the Trump
trafficking.
No, I don't think that was really it. I think it was more they're coming to murder you and rape you and all of that stuff. That was a small point, and I think that got a lot of the women on board, right? And I think I'm still struggling to find why women ride or die with him. And that's what, like, that layer I'm missing. Like, I get the financial, I get the hardo, I get somewhat the invasion, like the con, because that's what it was. But I'm disconnecting where the women who hear about this man who's married, who claims to be church going, Republicans, church going, God fearing, all of that stuff, pays off a porn star to not disclose that he fucked her, amongst others. The infamous grab her by the pussy tape. It's hard for me to understand where the women like jumped on the wave. That's where I'm at a loss. So I figured out the other stuff. I just haven't figured out the connection with the women who ride or die for him. Can you help me?
No, because it befuddles me as well, and it's so funny. Like, people that are diehard Trumpies are diehard Trumpies, and they refuse to see logic, refuse to believe anything other than what they're told by Trump or Fox News. Like, they won't do research outside of that. They don't want to hear anything other than what they believe.
Well, I think actually another layer, or let's throw in another layer to the cake. and I don't know why we're going into this because this was not planned. Another layer on the cake is the PC bullshit. And we have, as a country, gotten too politically correct. We've gotten to the point where cancel culture exists to where comedians can't make legit jokes because they're worried about cancel culture, to where people said we've gone too far. And because Trump tells it like it is, that's what that's what I identify with. That's what pulls me in. You know, and for you fucking far left fucks, that's your fault. You made that shit happen because you guys cry about every little fucking thing. You guys bitch and complain about every little thing on Twitter because somebody said this or somebody, like, if you're really affected by it, or like if you don't have the mental capacity to just say fuck that guy and fuck his comments. But no, it's gonna make you. You're gonna act like, I had bad dreams and I couldn't sleep. Get the fuck out of here with that bullshit. You motherfuckers are just as responsible for Trump as Trump is responsible for Trump.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the abundance of this cancel culture bullshit as of late is ridiculous. And this goes on to like something else we did have on our rundown. But like, for example, like Morgan Wallen. Morgan Wallen's a country artist. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. Who like
don't listen to country
was
music.
dropped from his. So Morgan Wallen was dropped from his label.
Hold on.
But I mean, so it leads into this Gina Carano thing.
Well, kind of, it does, but not really.
because
well, cancel culture, I guess.
Yeah, because so Gina posts this statement. I can't recall what exactly the statement said, but it was.
Gina posted a lot of stupid shit, bro. A lot of stupid shit. So I don't really feel bad for her because every company these days holds you to certain social media standards, especially if you're in the public view, right? Like if you're Tom Cruise, they don't want you posting, the production company doesn't want you posting that you're pro-Trump, against Trump, whatever. Like they want to keep it like, just don't even bother. And Gina Carano is like a mass denier, Trump lover, like just kind of stupid, if we're being honest. I mean, she was in MMA. She didn't really do anything in MMA. She's an okay actor. Let's not act like she's fucking like she was a cornerstone to the Mandalorian. Like she was a good character, but people are acting like she was like a main, like the fuck out of here. The Mandalorian is the main character. Baby Yoda or Grogu, whatever the fuck his name is. And Gus, fucking Gus from Breaking Bad, like they way other character. Like nobody gives a fuck about Gina Carano if she's not in the Mandalorian anymore. The only people who give a fuck are the Trump lovers. Fuck Gina Carano. You want to make statements on social media that bring you a bunch of attention and bring a bunch of heat on your company, and then you want us to feel sorry because they did that? Like they got rid of you? Like they didn't want to fuck with this. Like that's cancel culture that I don't give a fuck about.
The worst part is she knew it was coming. I don't know if you heard, but like
she doubled down.
Well, apparently she accidentally got sent an email that was like from Disney that they were passing around to other like executive producers or whatever, and they accidentally sent it to her as well. Basically saying like they were watching her and her rhetoric on Facebook and social media and that they had issues with it. So she knew like she was under.
She didn't give a fuck. She thought she was that under the hot. Glass. She thought she was that hot that she was just gonna keep tweeting it. Oh fuck! Like, and I guess now she's doing some movie or something like that with some other Republican, conservative or whatever. Like, good luck, Toots. If you don't have the story, nobody's gonna give a fuck about your movie. a few right wingers are gonna watch it just because they love what you say, but nobody else is gonna give a fuck about it, and you just lit put a fucking lighter to your career because that was stupid. You can have beliefs, keep them to yourself when it comes to your money. Am I wrong?
Well, and not only that,
That's
man.
not being that's not being a sellout. That's not being a sellout. It's just like
Well,
you can like just fucking you're making tons of
I
money.
mean
They were gonna make a series with her in it.
the shit that got her really like fucking just a lot of the heat was the comparing it to like Nazi Germany.
Yes.
Like,
Yes. Exactly. She went way too far with it. I think they would have allowed some leeway if she didn't go that far with it. It was just like, what the fuck are you doing? Anyways.
You got a little bit of an accent there.
Oh, by the
what
way,
the fuck are you doing?
what are you doing, my friend? Oh, well, cancel. Sorry. Oh shit, a poo. My bad. By the way, let's talk about my background real quick. Pause in the programming. This fucking scene, if you saw this was amazing. They put a rink, and I don't know if it was already there or whatever, but whatever. The NHL had the Bruins play the fucking Philadelphia Flyers. The Bruins kicked their fucking dicks in. But the backdrop, the sun was setting, beautiful Lake Tahoe in the background. It was amazing. And I hope the NHL continues to do this because it was fucking awesome. I enjoyed that game so much. Not just because the Bruins stomped the dicks out of the Flyers, but it was just an awesome atmosphere. And additionally, my boy Spanky back here, I think he had one too many. I don't know what to tell you. Spanky's probably going to be around for a while for the podcast. But anyways,
So I think the outdoor fucking hockey shit is pretty dope. Around here, I think they call it the Winter Classic.
Yeah,
when the Caps play outdoors.
Yeah. The Caps did it too.
Yeah, Caps been doing it for a few years. I think it's fucking dope. I think it's a cool like change, like because then you have like a whole another element of the game, like the sunlight on the ice and
yes,
that kind of shit.
Yes, like what baseball players deal with when the sun's
with
going
shadows
down.
And shit like that.
Absolutely, it was fucking awesome. I fucking loved it. Loved it because like you could see the sun going down, and then like the next period it was dark and they had the lights on and everything. So it was just crazy. It was fucking awesome. Not just because the Bruins won, but it was awesome.
Gave you Mighty Ducks nostalgia.
It was just like if they could do that more, it'd be great.
Speaking of Mighty Ducks, they're coming out with a new movie, right?
I think so. I think I saw something about that. Like, but that's not surprising. They're doing that with everything. I saw fucking Gizmo, Gremlins, Gizmo with the fucking guy from Gremlins. He gave him a Mountain Dew. The dude spilled fucking Mountain Dew all over. Gizmo spilled Mountain Dew all over himself. Gremlins is coming back. How much you want to bet? Like within a year, there's a Gremlins reboot.
Oh, for sure.
What would be cool would be if Star Wars said fuck that. Let's do Gremlins Star Wars reboot, and they did like a Baby Yoda gizmo type. Like, you want to let's get fucking crazy with it. You want to get crazy? Let's go. Let's do a fucking Gremlins Baby Yoda like reboot where all of a sudden you have all these fucking evil Baby Yodas just
Have you
spouting
seen
off.
the Have you seen the Baby Jabba?
No.
Baby Jabba the Hutt. What? There's a Baby Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah, but I mean, people really give a fuck about Jabba the Hutt. I don't know. I'm just saying. Anyways, let's move on to the next topic. So, you put on the list. We're talking about trends in sports, right? You wanted to talk about
Yeah.
maybe a specific thing. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think this has made a lot of controversy in like the last couple of weeks, because you're starting to see like these trans players who are born physically a male, um, who've transitioned to being a female, and now are like playing on female sports teams. And don't get me wrong, like I support LGBTQT whatever. Like, dude, like whatever y'all do, that's your business. Like, it's not my fucking business. I don't care. However, I have problems with this. I think this is wrong. Like, I absolutely think it's wrong that like uh, an individual who used to be a male, who still genetically has male bone structure, the ability to like create a larger like muscle mass, um, and is genetically like designed to be more athletic than a female should be able to participate on a female's team.
All
And
right,
that's just science.
so I'm surprised it just got on your radar. I don't know if you ran into an article recently or whatever, but this has been going on for a while. Um, I agree with you that if just put yourself in the parent's perspective, and you have a girl, a daughter, who kicks ass in like, I don't know, cross country running or whatever. And all of a
which is
sudden
a
this
which is
yeah, all of a sudden you get like this uh male born person who identifies as a woman is just blowing the field out of the water because they have the physical attributes of a man. Yes, that's fucked up. And if I was that parent, I'd be like, that's bullshit. Like
taking
my
away scholarships and
yeah,
opportunities.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And South Park actually did an episode about it, and they turned the transgender chick into like Randy Macho Man Savage. That's why I say this is not new, and it's. I mean, I don't know what triggered you. I don't know if it was a local topic or something that, but this is
No, so yes, I mean, I recently saw a show where like they had a couple of female athletes who like were runners, and like they've now like competed against a couple trans athletes, and now they're coming in second and third in their sport and missing out on college scholarships and things like that because they're not the best in their sport because of trans athletes.
which I
And
agree. It's bullshit.
and my daughter's an athlete. Like my daughter plays volleyball, so like for me, I guess it kind of hits home because I'm like, what if my daughter didn't make the team because a spot was given to a trans athlete, or what if she had to compete against a trans athlete who was much bigger and much more physical than her, like,
Yeah, and much
and she got
stronger.
injured or like that kind of
Exactly.
thing.
Exactly. And that's where we've gone too far to acceptance and too far to the left. And again, this is why Trump had legs, because we don't use common sense. If you're born with male attributes, like yes, there are some women who are stronger than men. Yes, there are certain instances where women are, in a more dominant physical way than a man. But those are few and far between. Genetically, we're just talking about genes. We're talking about science. Genetically, men are stronger than women. It's not to denigrate them. It's not to say that they
That men
can't
are
do it.
superior.
Yeah, it's just genes. It's just the way we're built. We just, if you have a 6'4" dad who creates a 6'4" son, that's just the way it's gonna be. Like it's not to shit on you or say you're inferior, because there are tons of strong women out there who can do way more than guys, strong guys. It's just facts. So if a person is born with these genes, how is it fair just because they identify as a woman that they can compete in women's sports with those advantages? It's just fucked up. I don't, and if we're being fair, let's flip it around. If you're the father of the guy who identifies as a woman who wants to do something in a woman's sport, how would you handle that?
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, that's a
I
tough
think the
that's a
problem.
tough thing. If we're being honest, that's a tough thing for those parents to deal with.
Yeah, I'm.
Oh, we lost Rob. We just got
I
his
I think
choppiness. Start over. Start over, bro. I might I might have to.
so. I feel like we need to create a division of sports that's in between. Like, if you identify as transgender, then there should be a division of sports for transgender players, so that
I
male athletes or female athletes don't suffer as a result, if that makes sense. Like, there are scholarships made for female athletes, and genetic, like being born a male and being born a female. And I feel like I have to walk on eggshells with this because I don't really want to offend anyone. Because, like I said, I get it. Like,
It's a tough situation. Yes, yes, and we do have to walk on eggshells, especially in today's society. Like we're in no way denigrating um transgender people. Like, and if you take it that way, then you're an asshole. So fuck off. What we're saying is we're trying to give you the perspective of both sides. And if you can't understand that, then eat a dick and go listen to another fucking podcast and cancel somebody else, because I think we're being very fair about it. Like, I understand if you're a parent of a transgender child and you're having to face these
tough decisions and
yeah.
situations, and
So what we're
like,
saying is, let's not put it up to them. Like, let's create another league, if you will. And if you're the only person in the transgender league, fuck it, you win. Like, I mean, we want to be inclusive, so we're including you. And I think we're getting maybe to the point where being too inclusive, but whatever, that's another story.
yeah, I mean, but I mean, you look at the pro weightlifter who is like lifting in the women's division,
It's just
and
wrong. It's just not right.
and is and is smashing women's records that like they've worked so hard to like get, and now this guy who's genetically
Exactly.
just like
A dude.
physically going to be bigger and stronger than
Yes.
them
Yes.
is now taking away all the hard work of all these women is completely unfair.
I agree. I agree. And if you have a problem with that, then fuck off. What else to tell you? So I guess today the Supreme Court said Trump's taxes are open for grabs. So I don't really have much to say about it. It's funny that 3 of his appointees still allowed this to happen because they were like, thanks, Trump, fuck off.
Well, at the end of the day, like, what do you expect of someone who's appointed to the highest court of the land? Like, someone who believes in law, like to that level, whether their views are slightly skewed right or left, like they're still going to uphold the values of the Constitution.
Which is what happened with all this bullshit election fraud and all that garbage. Like they were like, no, we don't. There's no evidence here, and I say it's a good thing. I feel like if there's some dirt on Trump that needs to be exposed, just like if it was Bezos or any rich motherfucker out there, yeah, show that fucking proof. Prosecute your dicks off. Like if this motherfucker's trying to, like they're already rich, they're already making money. If they're trying to game the system, go get them. I'm getting my dick chewed off just because I try to beat a red light. So you won't like go chew their dicks off. What the fuck? I don't know. There's not really much to say about that story, but I wanted to mention it because it happened today, and we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be some juicy stuff that comes out of those tax returns.
Which, you know, in I guess related news, Trump is supposed to like have his first public uh, speech since being out of the White House, and Pence was invited to the same like caucus or conference down there in Florida, and Pence declined. Like
Hell yeah. Pence is not stupid.
Pence, Pence wants no part of this dude anymore.
Spanky doesn't want anything to do with that shit. Spanky's laid out. Spanky's fucking drinking beers with me. Spanky's done. Like nobody wants to deal with that shit. All right, I just paused it for some reason. I don't know what the fuck happened. My
Still
camera went
recording.
to shit. So I think my ass hit the keyboard. Sorry.
Moving on.
So let's talk about being less white. This is amazing. And I got to credit Rob for bringing this because I hadn't heard about this. And I actually have the supposed slideshow queued up here. which is from supposedly it's from Coca Cola. I don't know if this is
So
100% true.
no, so Coca Cola has gone on statement to say, admittedly say that there was links that were associated to this slide that it not necessarily wasn't necessarily part of their curriculum, but in the curriculum they were teaching the employees that this was included in it.
All right, so let me show what this presentation is, and let's talk about it. I I just brought it up like on my screen, like if you were gonna see instead of sharing it. I just yeah. Let me just bring this up on my screen. Ah, shit. I guess you got to get used to this stuff. Um. Anyways, here it is. So it says, for those who aren't watching the YouTube, confronting racism, understanding what it means to be white, challenging what it means to be racist. So to me, that first statement says, like if you can separate the two things, I guess I don't know. I don't even know if that's okay. Challenging what it means to be racist is totally okay, but and understanding what it means to be white, is that associated with challenging what it means to be racist? I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I mean, it's kind of like presumptuous that, like, if you're white, you're racist.
Agreed. So let's move. Let's
You know
move
what
on
I'm saying?
to.
Like,
Yes, absolutely. Let's move on to the next slide. To be less white is to be less oppressive, be less arrogant, be less certain, be less defensive, be less ignorant, be more humble, listen, believe, break with apathy, break with white solidarity. Do you understand how stupid this slide is? I mean, white people aren't the only ones who are oppressive. White people aren't the only ones who are arrogant. White people who aren't the only ones who are certain, defensive, ignorant. White people aren't the only ones who need to be more humble and need to listen more and believe more.
and
What
most
the
importantly, white people
fuck are we
aren't the
doing?
well, and most importantly, white people aren't the only ones that are racist.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is just ridiculous. I can't believe this passed through the corporate fucking, like, be less. How are you going to tell your employees to be less ignorant? Like, is that not the biggest insult? Which, if we're being honest, you could say that in almost every company, and like this shit applies to every race, every ethnicity, in every company. This should not just be to be less white. What the fuck is that? And they wonder why we have these people that are storming the Capitol and that are afraid of the white race being eradicated from the country. The fucking thing says to be less white. Now, mind you, we don't know if this is legit. We don't know if this is 100%. This is what's on the internet. in the US and other Western nations, white people are socialized to feel that they are inherently superior because they are white. Research shows that by age 3 to 4, children understand that it's better to be white. I'm sorry, but 3-year-olds aren't thinking about race. 4-year-olds aren't thinking about like their place in line compared to their black or brown counterparts. Try to be less white. Like, is this really real?
Yeah, I mean that's a that's a ludicrous thing to me. Actually, I was just looking up to see if it was on Snopes, to see if I could find it on Snopes.
Probably a good idea before we start the podcast.
Well, no, I mean, so it is.
Hey, listen, if we get duped, we'll get duped, and we'll just talk about it next episode about how stupid we were. But if this is legit, this is fucking bananas. Yes? No? Maybe? We got we got Sticky Rob again. Oh, there he is. He's back. Or is he?
Why is this out of range?
Oh, there he is.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Go. Keep going.
Hold on, I'm trying to fucking reset my connection here because I got a shitty connection.
Well, you were talking about Snopes. And as I stated, if we got duped, then we'll just talk about it in the next episode and talk about how it's a learning experience and how much we suck. However, if it's legit, it's fucking ridiculous. So, I mean, I found it on regular media, so I don't know how fake it could be, but whatever. If it turns out to be a fake, uh, photoshopped or whatever presentation, then we'll talk about it next episode. But given the information that we have, it's legit, right? You're on mute.
Sorry, I'm having connection issues on my end.
But you heard me, right? Yo. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Where is Rob and the crew? So basically,
Right, so
so where we're at is if what we're seeing, we got this from mainstream media, right? Like, if this becomes false news, then the mainstream media got duped too, because that's where we got it from. But if it's on us, we'll acknowledge it the next episode, right?
yeah, so I mean, what I gather from Snopes is it's kind of like based on truth, but kind of based on like not really founded shit. So um, the understanding I have is Coca Cola did have a diversity course on um, LinkedIn Learning, um, and the screenshots that were shown of this slide had Coca Cola's logo in the right hand side. However, Coca Cola is denying that this was part of their curriculum, and was saying that more than likely someone that worked for Coca Cola who accessed LinkedIn Learning went to this information, this slide, by
And
this guy
edited.
D'Angelo, and basically like took a screenshot of it and posted it, and it not necessarily was part of their curriculum, but because they access it from Coca Cola servers. That's why the logo's there.
Well,
However, the slide comes from a guy who creates like diversity training for many major companies, and it's kind of controversial. Um, Partly because he does this whole thing about like how do you lessen the results of being white, like your impact of being white.
all right. Well, I think this is something we're probably going to have to dip in deeper, uh, because part of me says this is so ridiculous. How can Coca Cola acknowledge this and like that be part of their training? Like, it's just out of this world that it almost feels like somebody doctored it.
However, this came from several, not just one source. It came from several Coca Cola employees that this was part of the curriculum,
And if
and
that's
it
the
was
case,
first reported.
yeah,
I was gonna
if
say it
that
was first reported on like
go ahead.
4chan and other like. I said it was first reported on like 4chan and other things
Well,
and Reddit.
4chan, I mean, 4chan and Reddit,
4chan. Yeah.
you can put anything you want on there and you can doctor whatever you want. However, if this is legit, this is a huge, ridiculous fuck up by their team. It's just preposterous. It's so many ways. Um, uh, like, do you want to break down the slides? Like, oh, I already got rid of it. I mean, they're talking about they're talking about not being ignorant. Like, that's a racial thing. Being ignorant. Like there's so much wrong with this. It almost needs a whole podcast just to fucking explain how much wrong with it there is. So maybe we'll circle back on this next episode. But until then, let's get to some lighter shit because I think we've been a little topic heavy. Let's talk about you. You want to talk about white? Let's talk about that white. Let's let's talk about that white. Apparently, I believe this was in Ohio. They confiscated a bunch of, I guess, off-brand frosted flakes because the flakes were frosted not with sugar. The flakes were frosted with a little cocaina, a little that white sugar booger, if you will. So the this is so ridiculous. So
You're not recording.
yeah, so the dogs
Not
sniffed.
recording.
I'm recording. The dog sniffed it out that
I got no
the
recording.
bro, I'm recording. I don't know what you want me to do. Oh, there you go. Out and in. Rob's having some technical difficulties. Um, but he's back. So we're talking about the fucking frosted flakes that are cocaine flakes, basically, and a drug sniffing dog caught them, and immediately what went to my mind was like, these fucking drug dealers are unbelievable in their ingenuity. These motherfuckers come up with every fucking way to smuggle drugs known to man. To sit there It had to be one guy. One guy was sitting there just eating a bowl of Frosted Flakes and was like, wait a minute. We could fucking ship bags of this stuff. And instead of putting sugar on them, we just put the cocaine and we'll pass it right through customs, no problem.
You know the guy was sitting there with his bowls. He's got his bowl of cereal, and he's like, "Hey, you know, Juan, I got an idea, bro." Juan's like, "What's your idea, man?" You know, we could take the cereal and put the cocaine on the cereal, and we'd be good, man. We'd be so fucking good.
It's like Scarface, like times 10. Like I don't even think it might not have even been that. He might have been just like watching his kid eat some Frosted Flakes with Tony the Tiger on the box. And Tony the Tiger's got the thumbs up, like they're great. And he's looking at his son eating his fucking like a kid would, just like just crushing his Frosted Flakes. Because as an adult man, I still crush Frosted Flakes, despite what the greatest despite what the greatest athlete ever, Tom Brady, says about Frosted Flakes. Fuck you, Tom. I'm still gonna eat Frosted Flakes. Okay.
Well, and you know, his kid did what we did as kids. He put more sugar on the Frosted Flakes.
Well, that's just ridiculous. I mean, these days you have to put extra sugar on it because these days they don't have the same sugar that they had on these cereals like when we were kids. So sucks for this generation, but in my day, everything was sugar frosted. Everything. But fucking obviously not Pablo Escobar, but maybe Julian Escobar.
Maybe his cousin Miguel.
Whatever. Miguel Escobar is watching his son crush his Frosted Flakes. And he's like, holy shit. I never even thought of that. Buy a bunch of fucking cornflakes, just dust them in cocaine, send them over. They can shake them out and remove the cornflakes from the cocaine, and we're good. Otherwise, maybe they're sending them out as fucking cocaine cereal, and motherfuckers crushing, watching Saturday morning cartoons, just crushing fucking cocaine cereal. I don't know. Tony the Tiger's like, they're great.
These motherfuckers are running around.
Fucking
like,
yeah, bro! They're better than ever.
Breakfast is the best meal of the day. Woo!
They're great. Fucking Tony. Tony's just going nuts. Like, yeah, bro. Best cornflakes we ever had.
Little do we know, maybe Tony's been on this shit for years.
You want to come at me now, Shaq? You want to come at me now, Shaq?
For all we know, Tony's been on this shit for years. Tony's been smacking all these years.
Holy shit.
They're great.
Anyways, they caught them. Whatever. It's just crazy. Drug dealers just don't stop. So we talked about last week. We talked about the new Mortal Kombat movie, right? So I guess some idiot writer, and I wish I would have wrote their name down, from Jezebel or whatever the fuck website it is. So this idiot writer writes a whole writes a whole fucking article about how they omitted Chun Li.
which is kind of funny. So what's really funny about it is they went as far, like someone, I don't know if it was someone involved with the movie or like some fan decided to fucking like make fun of this and made a whole movie poster with Chun Li and the Mortal Kombat thing.
People are awesome. They're equally dicks, they're equally assholes, and they're equally great. And in this case, it's great because what kind of a stupid asshole writes a whole article about whatever premise and doesn't have a clue what the fuck they're talking about?
Well, and it was one of these scathing pieces about how, that Chun Li was such a strong female character, blah 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 blah. Yeah, in Street Fighter.
Exactly. It was a whole different fucking I don't know, genre or not genre, but like it was a whole different game. Chun Li didn't exist in Mortal Kombat, you stupid fucking asshole. And the worst thing is, it got published. Nobody even fact checked it or whatever. And I think their edit was as ridiculous as the fucking article was.
Well, and this isn't like Jezebel isn't a satirical like.
It's not The Onion.
Yeah, it's not The Onion. Like they don't do fucking stupid stories about PlayStation discontinuing making units just to fucking freak people out. Like they were legit on the story.
It's hilarious, and that person should have egg all over their face and in their nose and in their mouth and on their tits and wherever else.
Chun-Li needs to come give her a nice swift kick to the face.
For real. It's fucking ridiculous. It's like, Jesus Christ, has journalism got this bad? Like, we're not even double checking what the fuck we're talking about anymore.
Yeah, check the Snopes on that one. Check the Snopes on that one. Chun-Li was never in Mortal Kombat.
That's funny coming from us because we just take whatever they throw out there and we just go with it. But so it's yeah, go ahead.
No, but I mean, like in my everyday routine, like if I see some crazy shit or some like questionable shit, the first thing I do is go, is this real? Like, where is it coming from? Like, so I look at the source, then I look at, where it's published, and then I look at like Snopes to see, all right, well, is this real? Is it not real? Like, let's get some insight.
Yeah, and
before I take it and run with it, which honestly,
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say honestly, like most people should do that with every fucking thing, like with all this political bullshit, with all the fucking every fucking thing you see on social media. Before you take it and run with it, do some fact checking.
And we've all got duped by it. Like it's no shame to say that you read an article and took it to heart because you thought it was coming from a legit source. I mean,
how many times have you said RIP to a celebrity?
I mean, like it just happens. Like people, like these seemingly real publications are, in fact, propaganda publications, and it's hard to differentiate between the two. So it's easy for people to get duped. You know, like the Washington Post and the Washington Times, or whatever the names are. The point is you should do another Google search to find out if it sounds that ridiculous. Chances are it's probably that ridiculous. But let's talk about a tragedy in life. The divorce of Kim Kardashian and Kanye West. I guess it's official now. I guess they filed for divorce. It is a sad day for America. Because Kim and Kanye are done. They got 4 kids. They were pumping them out. Kanye was busy. He was all up in that.
Seen that Kardashian ass? Can you blame him? Look.
Absolutely not. I mean, I think she was just trying to catch Courtney, because Courtney was like squirting them out left and right. Or Courtney. But I mean, it's kind of sad, like, say what you want about Kanye, say what you want about Kim. They seem to be vibing. They seem to have I'm so full of shit right now. Kanye turned crazy. He went crazy under the Kardashian curse. It's the Kardashian curse has hit everybody. Nobody's prospered from it. Like, the chicks always do well. The guys who enter always end up doing shit. Am I wrong?
Nope. It was the basketball player.
Tristan Thompson?
No, the other one.
There's a million of them. They all fuck with all of them.
Yeah, the one that got hooked on drugs real bad.
Who?
The
white guy?
Was it Courtney? No, the black guy. Was it Courtney's husband?
No, that was Scott Disick.
No, not Courtney. What's the other fucking?
Bro, it's too hard. It's too hard to keep track of.
This thing had so many dicks
you're
ran
talking
in
about,
them.
No, that was Chloe. It was Lamar Odom.
Yeah, that's it. Lamar Odom.
Well, she's moved on to a different NBA player, and his name is Tristan. And he sucks now because he played for the Celtics. He fucking sucks.
And Scott is fucking douchebag central.
Yeah, but he's laying the hammer down on Courtney and whatever. Like, he is what he is. Like, I got no beef with him. It's just like he's funny, actually, if we're being honest. But but like, when you're dealing with a marriage to where you're legit naming your kids North, Chicago. What are the other two? I can't remember, but Psalm was the latest one. Psalm.
Yeah.
Like, these poor kids are gonna get beat the shit out of in school. Like,
Well, but I mean, as the sane parent, like, if let's call Kim the sane parent, she didn't like fight that. She didn't say like,
I'm not naming my kid Chicago. What the
Yeah.
fuck are you talking about? Oh, it'd be cool. They can call him Shy. Fuck off. Her name is Chicago.
"Come here, little deep dish."
Hey, Sam. You got any Psalms for me to like, what the fuck? In any case, rest in peace to Kimye, because Kimye seems to be over. I got one clip for you. And I know I'm pretty sure you haven't seen this yet. So let me bring it up. And what we're talking about is supposedly bully football players versus MMA guys. So let's take a look. Oh, wait. Wait. I want to make sure that I have the full. All right. So basically what we're seeing is from what I gathered, the football player is a well-known football player, and he might have already done something to this MMA guy because supposedly he's bleeding already. Okay. So that has a little something to do with what we're about to see. You with me? You there?
Yeah. Hey.
Look at me. Look at me, bitch. Hey, boys. Hey, get out of here. Oh, what you got? Hey, put the phones away. Get out of here.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit, buddy. Oh, shit, young blood. Oh, shit. Hey, you ain't fucking around, cuz. He got his nobody coming
So the
back,
MMA
bro.
guy is just basically beat the piss out of the football player.
That's just funny, bro. Hey, guillotine. Hey, rear naked choke. Tap out,
like
motherfucker.
Like cowboy boots on. Chokes the fucking football player out. And his boy,
shit, bro.
shit
Y'all
out of
motherfuckers ain't playing
the
around.
football player's boy.
Bro.
All right. So the greatest thing about this video is that the dude had cowboy boots on. Like that is just the best. But it leads me to the question. Okay, who was in the right, who was in the wrong? Because you have both sides of the story, right?
Well, didn't this dude almost lose an eye for this shit too?
Yes, the MMA guy fucked him up. But was he asking for it? I guess is the point. Because like MMA guys know how to fight, and supposedly you're not supposed to do that shit unless you're defending yourself. To which I say the guy already had a bloody nose, so maybe something already happened before they started recording. So I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence on this one. Hello?
Yeah. I was just reading the article. I was reading the article on this thing because number one, like when you showed the video, I didn't see any of it or record it. Like I didn't see any of it.
Well, basically what happened was MMA guy who seemed to be already bleeding from the nose basically swung on football guy from Oklahoma College Sooners, and took him down and started to choke him out or whatever after he bashed him a couple times. And then one of his boys bashed out this other dude who actually started the fucking thing from what I could see. Like he pushed the MMA guy.
I mean, what I'm reading here is that the actual fight was started by Spencer Jones, the OU player.
Supposedly, yeah, that's what's out there.
Yeah.
So I guess it leads me to what is acceptable and where's the line, some of these guys, some of these MMA fighters start training when they're mad young and they're just able to handle dudes. And it's like, they got no fear. So it's like, okay, so when are you allowed or when are you not allowed to use that training to beat the piss out of somebody?
I mean, the way I feel about it is if someone is going to attack you or whatever, that's the chances they're taking. You know what I'm saying? It's not your requirement to walk around and say, if someone pushes you, go, hey, buddy, I've trained for 10 years in MMA. You don't want none of this. Fuck that. All right, you want a piece of this. All right, you signed up for it.
No, that's an absolutely fair point. That's a total fair point. But at the same time, some of these guys are super hardos and they look for anything.
Well, good. That is fucking life. If you're going to be a hardo, you have to accept the fucking, the consequences of being a hardo.
No, but what I'm saying is some of the MMA guys are hardos.
Yeah, and if he got his ass thumped, would this even be a conversation?
No, but I guess my point is sometimes let's put it in this example. I'm an awesome basketball player. Do I invite you to challenge me, or do I just beat your ass in the court when it's just all right, let's go one-on-one? And maybe that's a poor example. Maybe that's a poor example.
Yeah, it's one thing if he invited the fucking football player into the cage with him and was like, all right, you want to spar? Let's spar.
No. I don't think there are tons of MMA hardos who are looking for a reason to fight.
Have you ever seen that video? Because there's one of those dudes that gets his ass stomped.
That's fine.
I mean,
but it's reality.
I think the reality is this dude, this football player, thought he was a hard ass, thought he was a bigger badass than he was.
Yes.
And picked the wrong fight with the wrong motherfucker, bro.
Yes, I agree. However, I don't want to gloss over the fact that there are tons of MMA hardos that invite fights just so that they can show that they can put you in a chokehold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of that these days.
Well, yeah, I mean, but that's super.
No, I lost him again. He's back. It's
So
instantaneous. Go ahead.
That's super contrary to everything you're trained as an MMA fighter. At least the disciplines of
yes,
MMA.
the good ones, but you can't control assholes and hardos.
Yeah, but I'm saying but it's super contrary to what you're taught. So if you're that dude that's out here fucking people up, because like it makes you feel like a badass because you're an MMA trained dude, like then you're a dickbag because that's not where you're trained.
I agree, but it happens. It's like when my son went to a local gym back up in Boston, and he started training. He wasn't doing anything serious. He's young, but he was learning how to throw punches and kicks and whatever. He wasn't rolling or anything like that. One of the first things that I said to him was like, listen, this is not for you to bully kids and have your way, with the crew at school. This is in case somebody comes at you, you're able to defend yourself. And he understood that, like I taught him at a young age. Some of these assholes learn this shit, later on in life, and they think it's just a golden ticket for them to just be Billy Badass and go out there and look for problems. And that's just a fact. And
Yeah,
I'm not saying that's what happened in this case, but if it happened in this case, would you be surprised?
No, and like I said, man, but I mean, this is not something that's new to, like, kids who've trained in boxing have always kind of had like that kind of attitude. You know what I'm saying? Kids who train to wrestle, like,
little different. MMA hardos are on a different level.
no, it's just because you're trained in so many different disciplines, but it's still, like I said, if they're following their true training, like they're not that dude.
Listen, I love MMA. I would love watching it more than boxing, whatever. But the fact is, MMA has the biggest hardos on the planet. Like, there are legit just the worst assholes in the world that train MMA. It's just facts. It's just facts.
Well, I mean, there's going to be some tool bags, bro. There's going to be some tool bags along the way.
All right. Well, that's all I got. Anything else?
Nope.
All right. Well, we'll see you fuck faces next week. Hopefully. Hopefully we'll have less technical issues or whatever. But if not, fuck off.
Waiting for those Starlink satellites.
We'll catch you next week. Later.